What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the specifically spectacular Dr. Disaster, and it is well documented by now that when a gaming studio decides to mock the gaming community, it tends to not work out very well for the studio that did it. Picking a fight with the autistic and obsessive gamer chuds generally doesn't work out well because we are like a dog with a bone who will not let it go.
I'm gonna take you apart.
Well, I hope you can enjoy the victory with one friggin' eye!
One famous example of this was Battlefield 5, a game where they infamously made a point of showing off female soldiers in World War II with cybernetic prosthetic limbs who were as plentiful and far more badass, seemingly in the trailers, than their male counterparts. Of course, they didn't show any female or black soldiers on the Nazi side of the fight. Oh no, we wouldn't want to show off something like that, but anyhow. People called this out big time, even though this was in 2018 during the peak woke years before a lot of gamers were properly activated in the fight against this stuff. There was very little organization against it because all of the social media was designed to kill pushback. But it turns out that a lot of people were organically annoyed at this shit. Take a look at the reveal trailer for the game. As you can see, they ratioed the hell out of them and dropped a lot of comments talking about how the gamers didn't care to see female soldiers with cybernetic appendages fighting in World War II, which is basically stolen valor. But in response to fan annoyance, one executive for EA famously said, "If you don't like it, don't buy it."
Your wish is my command.
Well, it turns out that this was not a particularly good marketing strategy. The game underperformed big time and was heavily discounted very early on. They thought they were untouchable because Battlefield is such a massive franchise, but that turned out not to be the case, and we have seen this happen time and time again. Here is a story from a few years ago, right before the release of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. The lead writer for that game mocked anyone who thought that it looked like a woke piece of shit, calling people who criticized them a bunch of incels because that is one of the only few insults that these troglodytes have committed to memory. But once again, that is a game which sold like shit, and basically it closed down its developing studio. So really, whenever I see a studio engage in this behavior, for me, it is basically them signaling that this is the case.
I have an IQ of 48, and am what some people call mentally retarded.
With that said, the official Witcher account on X has gone out of their way to insult people and essentially pick a fight. The person running the account apparently has pretty thin skin because they responded to someone saying they weren't interested in their game with a belittling meme, which rubs a lot of people the wrong way, especially after there's been a ton of controversy surrounding the game's reveal in the first place. Whoever it was that posted this thing is not good at reading the room, so to speak, and understanding where gaming is at culturally speaking. This isn't 2018 any longer. You don't have a monopoly on social media anymore, and this shit does cause backlash.
Hey, right back at you, bitch.
Alright, me hearties, so just as a quick summary as to why people are touchy about The Witcher 4 in the first place, when the trailer came out for that game back at the Game Awards in December of 2024, there were two major things that people were complaining about, and your mileage may vary as to whether or not either of those complaints are something that you agree with, but the point is that these are things that people have had a problem with. They complained about Ciri's face because her cheekbones looked off compared to what she looked like when she was in Witcher 3. Here she is in The Witcher 3, that's what she looked like, and this is what she looks like in the original trailer. Now, the defenders of CD Projekt Red immediately tried to deflect by saying that this only happened because Ciri is older, but let's just be blunt here. People's basic facial structures do not change due to age unless there is surgery or some traumatic damage done or something like that. It really does seem, at least to me from the outset, that the cheekbones were changed, and that oftentimes signals that this is a studio that wanted to appeal to the feminist crowd. That being said, in subsequent videos and screenshots that came out, it does appear as though Ciri was made to look more feminine like she did in the original game. This is a screenshot from new footage of The Witcher 4, and she looks much improved. Maybe it's just the lighting, or maybe the studio made changes. Either way, that is one of the complaints. The other chief complaint was the fact that Ciri was a Witcher at all in the first place. Now, keep in mind that despite what the progressives out there want to claim, acting as though the gamer chuds are just completely against female main characters at all in video games, well, contrary to that, people are not complaining that Ciri is the main character in this game. That actually seems like the natural extension of the story that we got so far in The Witcher. Granted, I personally would prefer if Geralt was still the protagonist, but I don't mind Ciri taking over. She's a great character, and she has the potential to be quite powerful and interesting. But that's just the thing, she was already very powerful in her own way before becoming a Witcher, and it seems retarded that she would even consider undergoing the dangerous trial of grasses, which women were said not to be able to complete. But once again, your mileage may vary as to whether or not this is something that turns you off about the game. The important thing is to understand that there are complaints about The Witcher from chunks of people. So, with that in mind, this exchange here doesn't seem like it was a very good idea to engage in. So, originally, the Witcher account posted a short video clip with old Witcher 3 footage, and they wrote, "Do as I say, not as I do, Geralt probably." And of course, that's innocent enough, no problems with that. But then, that guy at the bottom replied, saying Witcher 3 was great, not buying Witcher 4. And look, as someone who has worked in customer service in my day, I understand that it can be quite unpleasant to have to deal with disgruntled customers and the public in general. I get that it can be a grind, but there were two acceptable ways to handle this comment, and one of them is extremely easy because it was simply just ignore it. Don't say anything, don't bring attention to it at all, and just move on. That is the easiest and possibly the best thing to do. The other solution is harder, but can be quite effective if done well. They could have politely asked what the problem is and listened to the complaints and tried to get the guy to understand that they want him as a customer. This is how the people working on the indie game Knight's Path handle their haters. That top person responded to an image of a character reveal that they put out saying, "God, this looks bad," and Knight's Path responded saying, "Thank you for your feedback. What exactly can we improve?" And then that person gave her reasons, and quite frankly, she made an ass of herself to the point that everyone could see she was just being a malcontent feminist ideologue that wasn't worth listening to. But the point is that Knight's Path made the effort to show they are interested in listening to people who disagree with them. Conversely, this is how the Witcher account responded to their hater. They did that meme format where there are people huddled together talking and someone from outside the group comes up and proclaims something. In this case, the guy says, "Not buying Witcher 4." And then the huddled group gives him a big thumbs up and they go on talking and ignoring him. And this response has gone viral with, as you can see at the bottom there, 1.3 million views, which is quite a lot for a simple reply on X. It has twice as many views, in fact, as the original post that they put up. So, in other words, it is drowning out the original messaging. There were a lot of great responses to this post though, showing what an asinine choice this was. This guy here posted a variant on the meme where, at the end of the meme, instead of showing the group continuing to huddle around and ignore the gamer, it instead shows a beggar holding up a sign that says, "Please buy our game, I am starving." Or take a look at this guy's response. He showed those two infamous headlines from the same outlet published several years ago when the Charlie's Angels reboot, at least I'm pretty sure that was the movie we're looking at here, but that movie was being made and it says, "Straight white males, this movie is not for you." And then the second headline reads, "Why are straight white males refusing to see this movie?" And the guy posting this wrote, "Why does the entertainment industry always think this is a winning strategy?" And I will field that question. I think it just has to do with perceived untouchability. So many of these studios and their employees believe they are too big to fail, so they feel comfortable shitting on the chuds. After all, the industry has been hollowed out and replaced with employees who are essentially anti-gamer. They have their echo chamber at these studios, and they think that everyone feels the same way, and you know what? In the case of The Witcher, maybe they are too big to fail. It's a huge franchise after all, but huge franchises like Star Wars and Star Trek have failed. Hell, even the Netflix Witcher show itself has turned into a major flop. So, this attitude that they are putting on display seems pretty stupid, and I, for one, am not inclined to even give their game a chance if this is how they feel. Instead, I will buy The Blood of Dawnwalker in a few weeks, which comes from their ex-employees who will hopefully embarrass the hell out of them. Anyhow, make sure to hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it already, and if you're already subscribed, make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. Lots of people tell me all the time that they've been unwillingly unsubscribed, and also, don't forget to follow me over on X, where my handle is Dr. Disaster1. But I'm gonna leave it there. What do you think of this response from the official Witcher account? Drop your thoughts on all this into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me, hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.